Hello, my name is Estrella, and for this project, I chose the story What You Pawn I Will Redeem from the book 10 Little Indians, and the theme I chose was alcoholism. In this story, the main character, Jackson talks about how at 1 p.m., him and his buddies went to the store. Him and his buddies are homeless, and so the money they spent was all the money that they had. This is the quote. Rose of Sharon Jr. and I carried our $20 bill and our $5 in loose change over to the 7-Eleven and spent it to buy 3 bottles of imagination. The 3 bottles of imagination he's talking about is alcohol, and that is what they spent all of their money on. And the picture I chose was a picture of 3 people in, I believe, Berlin, in a shop that's full of alcohol. You can see it in the foreground and in the background. So I thought it was a good picture to show how important this could be to them. The second quote I chose was at 2 p.m., where he states, Junior was passed out beside me, covered in his own vomit, maybe someone else's vomit, and my head hurt from thinking, so I left him. The picture chose was a picture of 2 homeless people. One of the person in the picture are asleep, and then the other person is sitting down. I thought it was really weird of Jackson to just leave when his friend is passed out and full of vomit because of alcohol, because his head hurt. But if you're an alcoholic, this may seem normal in a sense, where you'd have the side effects of alcohol be an everyday thing. At 3 p.m., a quote in the story is, I walked back to Junior. He was still passed out. I put my face down near his mouth to make sure he was breathing. He was alive, so I dug around his blue jean pockets and found half a cigarette, and I smoked it all the way down and thought about my grandmother. The picture I chose was the 3rd step of CPR, when it's look, listen, and feel for breathing. And it's 2 men. One is passed out on the floor, and the other one is putting his ear next to his mouth to try to hear him breathe or try to feel him breathe. This is very strange to me because if someone is sick, I usually try to help them, but in this case, he is stealing from him and looking for anything that he can have in his pockets while he is passed out. He has not tried to help his friend. He has just kind of made sure that his friend was alive, which is something compared to nothing. So yeah. At 5 p.m., after eating at a McDonald's, the quote is, after eating, I walked outside and I vomited on the sidewalk. I hated to lose my food so soon after eating. I was an alcoholic Indian with a busted stomach, and I always hoped making enough food in my stomach to stay alive. The picture I chose was a cartoon version of someone throwing up. I tried to look up pictures of people throwing up, but it just seemed too disgusting. And he admits that he's an alcoholic. At midnight to 2 in the morning, he has a conversation with the bartender. Nearly blind with alcohol, I stood alone at the bar and swear I've been standing in the bathroom with Irene a minute ago. Where's Irene and Honey Boy? I asked. They've been gone for hours, the bartender said. Where'd they go? I told you 100 times, I don't know. Because of him being drunk and having drunken so much alcohol, he is unaware of his surroundings and the people around him, and he is unaware of time. So he keeps asking the same question. He's also forgetting what he's doing, which is not very good. At 4 in the morning, the book states, emerged from the darkness, I discovered myself walking behind a big warehouse. Didn't know where I was. Exhausted and cold, I pulled a plastic card from my truck bed and wrapped it around me like a faithful lover and fell asleep in the dirt. I got a picture of a warehouse during the night, and it seems very odd to me that he just kind of sleeps wherever, not really making sure that he's in a safe place, and he is by himself now. And this carelessness kind of comes from him being drunk. At 6 in the morning, he got woken up by a police officer. What the hell are you doing here? He asked. I was cold and sleepy, so I laid down. You dumbass, you passed out on the railroad tracks. Shows a picture of someone sleeping on the railroad tracks, which is very unsafe, and kind of makes me wonder if he woke up and moved places and then laid back down, and it had somewhere for him to rest, so he laid on the railroad tracks. Very unsafe, and it's very good that someone found him before anything bad happened. Again, at 6 in the morning, he states, I should have been railroad track pizza, a double Indian pepperoni with extra cheese. Sick and scared, I leaned over and puked whiskey. I used the same picture of the man puking. It's a weird mix of him making a joke to cope with the fact that he is sick and scared, and I feel like him being scared kind of adds to him being sick and having to puke out the alcohol that was in his stomach. As he's talking to the officer tells him, I'm taking you over to detox, he says. No, man, that place is awful, I said. It's full of drunk Indians. In the story, he's still trying to make it fun and poke fun at it while he's talking to the police officer. I chose a picture of someone going through detox with a doctor. I don't think that detox is very fun, and he probably doesn't really like to be sober. So if he is a little drunk or buzzed still, he probably wants to keep that as well. In the story, he does have something to do throughout the 24 hours, but I don't believe that even if he did have something to do, he would want to go to detox. At noon, once he does get the piece that his grandmother had made that was in a pawn shop, he steps off the sidewalk into the intersection. Pedestrians stopped, cars stopped, the city stopped. We all watched me dance with my grandmother dancing. I chose a picture of someone jaywalking into the street. It's very unsafe for him to be doing this, and I feel like he's still not sober because he's putting his life in danger after he was actually happy that someone saved him from being, what's it called? Pizza. And being squished by the train. He could have gotten run over, very likely, or he could have gotten stopped again for stopping traffic. But he decides this is a good thing because he's celebrating the dance with his grandmother. That's the end of the story, and then I have my citation for the book and the pictures.